Let's have a look at the international newspapers. Olivia's here on set with us. You're starting off with the main news today, which is about Syria and the ceasefire that hopefully is going to be announced there.
Yes, we've heard that international mediator Lakhdar Brahimi is trying to broker this peace deal over the weekend during the Muslim festival of Eid al-Adha. Starting with the region, there's a lot of scepticism in Lebanon. The French language paper L'Orient Le Jour says they're not sure that the truce will hold, quoting Brahimi himself, of course, saying that even if it does take place and it's respected, it will be a very small step. And the article highlights that even though there's been a tentative yes from both sides of the conflict, there are also no's from Syria. They quote the splinter opposition group Front al-Nasra, who say that Bashar al-Assad's army probably won't hold this truce because they're being unobserved. There's no one to check that they are going to be doing so. And even the Free Syrian Army have expressed their doubts as well. It's a very similar line, actually, in the International Herald Tribune this morning. It's an original report from the New York Times. Doubts over the ceasefire. They point out an interesting detail about this Muslim festival, actually, that it can be respected from 1 day to 5 days. So no one knows how long this ceasefire would be. It could go from anywhere from Friday to Tuesday. Again, it won't be observed because there are no observers on the ground. It's too soon to send some within the next 48 hours. And interestingly, they interviewed one of the rebel military commanders, actually, via Skype, who said that, again, he doubts the regime will stick to the ceasefire. And the rebel line on this is that they're going to fight, and I quote, "Our plan is to continue fighting until the regime falls." There's more scepticism from The Guardian in a very short editorial where they say it's all depressingly familiar, and it must be disheartening for someone like Brahimi, who was involved in the Lebanon peace process. He says, they say he's just seeing the same thing unfold again. And they finish off by saying it's the absence of Russia and America in this conflict that's really blocking things, that if they came in, they might swing some action.
OK, well, Olivia's also pulled out a story from Mali. This is to do with the Sharia law, which is imposed in the north, and what it has to do for music.
Yeah, Sharia law in the north of Mali, of course, has outlawed any music, dancing or performance. This long report from The Guardian has got is a very detailed look at what that actually involves. Local militias threatening to cut the fingers off musicians, setting fire to piles of equipment and instruments, and how artists from Mali are doing their best to bring attention to this issue and keep making music, whether it's outside of the country or in the capital, Bamako. The artists they interview actually compare music in Mali. Of course, the country's got a very rich musical tradition. They compare it to a mineral wealth. They say it's our petrol, and it has brought money into the country. Lots of Malian musicians collaborate internationally. Tinari Wen, Grammy Award-winning group, have made plenty of money, so it's going to cause a dent for the economy as well.
OK, that's hardline Islamism in Mali. Here in France, you've got a poll to do with Islamism here in the country here.
Yes, a poll published this morning by Le Figaro showing that France, or French people, are becoming increasingly hostile to the religion. It says that many of them believe the religion poses a threat to the country. Over half of the people interviewed said they'd be happy to see the veil banned in the street. At the moment, it's just banned in public buildings. And a majority of people say that Islam has too much visibility and influence in France, despite the fact that these same people, the people polled, believe that Muslims aren't very well integrated into French society. And there's a short analysis at the end of the piece that says, basically, Islam's constantly in the headlines. Politicians have hijacked it and instrumentalised it for their own ends, and that's what's contributed to this poll.
And finally, Mitt Romney's found a new formula, apparently, of how he's going to win.
This could be a loophole for Mitt Romney. Electronic voting machines, or the machines that tally the votes. The Washington Post have the story. It says that people are worried about the possibility that Romney's link to an Ohio County voting machines will give him an advantage when it comes to the vote. It says that the firm who makes the machines it's called Hart Intercivic, has ties to big Republican donators and Romney's son, Tag. 3 of the company's board members made huge contributions to the Republican Party, even though the companies, of course, put out a statement saying, no, we're very committed to free and fair elections in the US. Yeah. And, of course, Ohio being a swing state, this is key. This was the battleground and the real close-run race between Al Gore and George W. Bush in 2000. So who knows?
Intriguing stuff.
It could be a winning formula.
I was going to say we hope not. I don't mean that Mitt Romney... You know what I mean. Olivia, thank you very much.